everybody. It's been a while, actually. A little over a month. The camera's shaking because Mr. Big Boy's right over here. His tail will probably come up. Oh, there it is. But yeah, it's been a little while, and that is because I have great news. Why? It's because I've been busy reading, which is amazing for me, because I've been in a little bit of a reading slump. But I have read some great books, and I just thought it would be fun to have sort of a cozy late night chat about them, because it is like 10:20 right now. I'm a bit of a late owl, a night owl. But yeah, that's just a fun I just got a text. A fun late night chat about the books I read recently. Quick little sidebar. Aren't my earrings so cute? They're like little planets. This is my cool new shirt. It's the DC Joker and the Harley Quinn with all the... There's Batman all the way at the bottom. This is my outfit for seeing the Thunderbolt movie, the new Marvel movie. I've actually seen it twice now. I went and saw it on Tuesday, and then I went and saw it today, and I really liked it. Some people didn't like it, but I really liked it, and it kind of got me like excited for Marvel again. So that was a quick little sidebar, just because I really like this shirt. There was like this little festival here, and that's where I got these earrings from, that I just really love. I really love the style of oh, there's another little earthquake in the form of another kitty. This time it's baby. Okay, I lost where I was going, but we're just gonna talk about the fun books. These are not in order that I read them, because I forgot the order I read them, and I honestly might be missing some. But these are just the ones that I wrote down, and also can remember off the top of my head. But first we're gonna start with Alice in Wonderland. I love this little cover, it's so cute. It's like that soft matte, I believe is what it's called, but the soft book texture. It's my favorite book texture. And this was a super fun read. This is like the weirdest book that I think I've ever read. I feel like I've talked about this before for some reason. Maybe in the one that I accidentally deleted? Or... was it in the spring recommendations video? Yeah, it was the spring recommendations video. I was like having weird deja vu. But yes, I read Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass by Lewis Carroll. And these books are just so whimsical and fun, and I definitely would recommend them for spring. But these are just so weird. I don't know how to describe them, because it is like a dream. It's like Alice's dream, which I didn't realize that. I always thought Wonderland was like a real place that she actually went to, or it was like her imagination. I didn't realize like she fell asleep and it was her dream. But I also had never heard of nor read the Through the Looking Glass part, which is like the second part. And I will say I liked Alice in Wonderland for better. Through the Looking Glass was just a little confusing, but like not in like a fun whimsical dream way, like just confusing, like I had no idea what was going on way. But this was, I'm glad I read them, and I do just love this cover, and they are just, it's the weirdest book I've ever read, so that's all I have to say about that. Then this is definitely not in order, but this was my lamplighter, and it's called Hand on the Bridle by Kathleen M. McLeod. This is so pretty. It's one of my favorites. It's a horse and a guy, and the guy on the horse. It's kind of dark in here because it's late at night and everyone else is asleep, so I gotta kind of be a little quiet. But here, let me show you. I have like these cute little fairy lights up there. Ta-da! Those are crocheted leaves that I made myself with little twinkly lights on them. Yep. Ooh. Okay. But yeah, super fun. And I have my cute little lamp that you guys have seen before. But back to this book. This follows Gavin, and he's sort of like he's not like mischievous, he just is more stubborn to authority. But he lives with his mom and his sisters, but he goes to live with his brother, who is the pastor of... They're not called pastors in this book, they're called... not clergyman. I don't, he wasn't called a pastor, but he was the leader of the parish, I think, is what he was called. But he goes to live with his brother, and the book is centered around, like, there's this painting the brother has where it's called The Hand on the Bridle, and it's this boy on a horse, and the boy looks like lost, and then Jesus is holding the bridle and is like leading him, although the boy can't see Jesus because it's like super foggy. And that sort of like just speaks to Gavin on a personal level and sort of starts his walk with God. And then he gets sort of he gets a lot of peer pressure for, you know, he wants to follow Jesus, so that's like, so he doesn't do the things that he used to do, and he gets peer pressure to do things that he doesn't want to do. But I just really liked it. I think it was really sweet to see the relationship grow between Gavin and Gavin's brother, who, I don't know, his name was Jim. That, I thought his name was Paul. I don't know, but his name is Jim, the older brother. And then another cute thing is the house next to Gavin's house is these three siblings. And the three siblings are super crazy, rambunctious. They live with their grandma, and that's it. And the grandma doesn't like parent them really. The sister's normally parenting them. But they were just super funny little characters, and there also was sort of like a reveal or a like gasp out loud moment towards the end involving the neighbors. But I just really adored this book. Lamplighters just hit every time, in cover and in story, so this was a delightful read. Okay, I'm gonna talk about some new favorites that I read, but I don't have them because I read all three of them from the library. That is actually kind of rare for me that the library had all three. But that is the Ravenwood Saga by Morgan Buss. I'll probably put pictures up over here, so let me move my head out the way. Hopefully editor me puts pictures up here. I probably will. And I just love these books. I literally read the first book. It was over 300 pages. I read it in a day. That has never happened for me, really, especially with like a 300 pager. I really am not really I used to be a fast reader, but now I'm not as fast. I just like to really, Miss Baby is gracing us with her presence. Let me see. There she is. Oh, she's touching the books. She wants to know about them as well. She'll be my little assistant. But anyways, I was saying, yeah, I'm not as fast a reader. I just really like to experience the story. But these books, oh my gosh, I devoured them. I want to buy them because I 100% see myself rereading them, but I'm kind of more focused on only buying books that I can't get at a library or I can't get used. So I sort of save my money for books that like I can't find anywhere else and I have to buy them new if I really want to read them. Or some new releases that are coming out, which maybe we'll talk about new releases too. This is sort of like a bookish update chat. But let me tell you what these books are about and why I love them so much. So this is set in a different world, a fantasy world, and on this where they live there are 7 houses, and every house has like a special ability given to them. And then so here is them with the 7 houses, and then there's like the ocean, and then over here is the Dominion Empire, and they had this war, and House Ravenwood got completely wiped out, or so they think. And they think the gift that House Ravenwood like disappeared because they thought all of the Ravenwood houses got murdered in the Empire by the Empire. And that we follow Celine, who is the heir to House Ravenwood, and she sort of gets let in on the secret that their gift is not gone. And nobody knows this except for the women of House Ravenwood and then the people they marry. Because there's like this thing where it's a house secret, so like if you marry into the family, you know all the house secrets, but you can't talk about it. Like if you try to, like you physically can't talk about it, which I always thought was unique. But so you follow her, and the character development with Celine was amazing. I just loved her so much, and how she sort of learned to like love herself and like realize, oh, I am like worthy of being happy and stuff. And it does have biblical under themes and is by a Christian author. I'm talking fast. I do that when I get excited. And it is a trilogy. We have Mark of the Raven, Cry of the Raven, and Flight of the Raven. And we do get another point of view, and it is Damien, and he is the head of House Maris, which is like the Lord of the Waters, so they have like water abilities. And him and Celine's relationship was so sweet. So he just was so gentle with her. I don't want to like spoil anything. I will say, if you're reading the first book, don't like read the synopsis of the second book, because I did that and it's sort of like a spoiler. Just a fair warning. But I just loved these books. The writing was so immersive. I read them so fast, and I want to own them, but like I said, I'm saving my money for new releases that we might talk about later. But yeah, I just recommend these books so much. They're so amazing. I I have no more words than amazing, and so that's it. Moving on, I found a new author, and that is Katherine Jordan, and it's the Keeper of Light series. This is a 6-book series, and I believe it is completed. I'm almost 100% sure it is. And there is a companion novel, and I think it's called The Girl Who Had the Stars on Her Shoulders or something. And it's got a really cute cover, but that is not what we're talking about. Okay, baby's being really weird and fussy. But this is a fantasy book, and it is set in a different world. And the plot it's really intricate, so I can't really describe it, but we do follow a lot of different point of views. The thing is, though, when you go into a chapter, you're not necessarily following one person's point of view. You're more like you switch into different people's point of views throughout the chapter. And it's like sort of like you're omnipresent, I think is the word. But it's not like, you know, some books where it's like a character in the story is telling the story. It's like you're just observing the story through multiple different people's points of views in each chapter. And I just really liked it. It was really immersive, and especially for being like pretty thick and chunky, I really did enjoy it. The loose plot that I think I could explain without like spoiling is we follow a lot of different people, and one of the characters' name in here is like the same as a different character's name in a different book series I'm reading, so I like got those mixed up for a second. But Elohim is like the leader of the White Clan, and they're sort of like Robin Hood. They live out in the woods. They don't like steal from the rich and give to the poor, but they live out in the woods in their own little clan, and they're separate from the town of Rothel, which I've been reading a lot of books. You'll know why. You'll know why I'm mixing things up in a minute when I talk about a different series. But yeah, we follow Elohim in the White Clan, and a lot of like evil is slowly seeping in to this kingdom, and this is also by a Christian author. I don't know if I mentioned that. And we also follow, I say the two other main characters would be Emarai, who she lives in this other clan, and they're like a very just nasty people altogether, and she ends up like joining the White Clan through some events that I won't say, but you do find out like in the first chapter. And then another character would be Bernard, who is part of the White Clan, and him and Amarai's relationship was really super sweet. I just loved reading about them. I was like, give me more. I actually have the 2 other books on my bookshelf way over there, which is called Fragments and Bloodshed, and I do love the covers for those, but I'm not gonna go get up because baby's on my lap now. But this book was very immersive. Like I said, I can't really explain the plot just because so many things happen. It was definitely a setup book to like set you up to launch into this world, and so you had like all these different point of views so you could understand all these different things. But I did really like it, and I'm excited to continue the series. She also had a new release recently. I think it's called The Wolf Warden, which is actually, I saw The Wolf Warden on Pinterest, and then I clicked on it, and like it led me to this, and then I got this one. I liked it. So that was a really fun... Minnie is clawing at the door and Baby's going to investigate. But that was like a super fun read to find a new author that I do enjoy for a good fantasy series. They're fighting like underneath the door. Minnie sticking her paws under the door and Baby's batting them. But I am now going to talk about a series that I am just crazy. Why it'll explain like why I was mixing up everything and stuff, and that's because I have once again jumped back into the world of Roshar. I feel like I need to listen to the audiobook just to figure out how to pronounce everyone's names right. Cause Adeline, is it Adolin or Adeline? Cause I was pronouncing it Adeline, but then someone else said Adolin. So if you listen to the audiobook or just are better with names pronunciation, please tell me. But I started off with Edgedancer by Brandon Sanderson. This is a novella between Words of Radiance and Oathbringer, and this follows one of the characters from the interludes of Words of Radiance. And I really did like this book. I really loved how we went into this character's like backstory and just like the motivations. It made her feel a lot more three-dimensional to me. And it also like wrapped up some little loose end mysteries we had from the interludes of Words of Radiance. I keep saying Oathbringer. And at first I didn't like this character, but now I really do like her, and I loved the role she played in Oathbringer, which I actually did read. And I will say, I did not read all of these in April. So this isn't like a April reads video, it's just like a recent reads video, I would say, because I finished this I think May 5th. But I did finish and read Oathbringer, loved it. Oh my gosh, this book was such a wild ride because the build-up was really good, and I feel like we had a lot of, like, we sort of unlocked a lot of new things in this world, and it was super, like, there were so many plot twists, gasp out loud moments. Some of the interludes did not make a lot of sense to me, but I think they will, like, when we move on and like continue more in the series. But like towards the end, because if you've read a Stormlight book, you know I haven't read any of his other books, so I don't know if there's like, except for like Tressa of the Emerald Sea and the Skyward series, so I haven't read like his Mistborn books yet, but I want to. Baby's back, so she's shaking the camera. Come here, baby. Ow. Okay, that was my finger. Baby. Okay. Anyways, but in the Stormlight books, there's like all this buildup, and then there's like one or two chapters where it's just like explodes. And in the one, oh my gosh. Let's hope it stays. In the one chapter, it was like we were switching between like at least 8 different point of views. It was like bam, bam, bam. Just so much stuff happened. It was so epic. My heart was pounding. I was freaking out. It was crazy. I mean, these books are just like so... It almost feels like reading a history book sometimes. And then other times it's like, oh my gosh, these characters are real. Like, if they're not happy, then I'm not going to be happy type of thing. And I'm a little worried that we're going to end up with that none of the characters are going to be happy and get what they deserve at the end. Because some characters in this book just mean so much to me at this point, and if they don't get the happy ending, then I'm just going to be really upset. And some characters in this book piss me off, and if they don't get the bad ending they deserve, then I'm also gonna be upset. But this was such a good read. I read this like so fast. It's such a big book, but I read it so fast. I also really love the artwork, because I only had the paperbacks for the other two, so I've never seen like there's like the artwork in here, which apparently it's the Heralds, because I did Google it. My favorite artwork I think is in Wind and Truth, because I looked at it all in the the back part of it, the two back panels. One of them, I think, is a herald, and the other, I think, is like the cultivation spren lady, who's like the mother of the earth, or Roshar, not Earth. But these books are just such all-consuming books, and I just love them so much. And I also did read the Dawnshard novella that goes between Oathbringer and Rhythm of War. And this also expanded on a character from the interlude of Words of Radiance. And it also showed us some things that were really interesting, because I think what like sort of happened with this book is like connected to his other series in the Cosmere universe, but like, because like it's the universe, and then the series take place on different planets, is my understanding. And I feel like this one's sort of connected with some of the other books he has, but I just haven't read them yet, so I don't like know the connection. But I felt like some of the dialogue that happened, that it was sort of showing like this was connected to the other series. So this was super good, and I did really love Baby is she's being really goofy. I did really love this character. Her name is Risen, and I love the way that she just sort of learned, and how like, what's the word that I want to use? Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, guys. This setup is not the best, but it is what we're working with. So, and the camera's doing something really funny, so I'm sorry if it looks weird. Anyways, I loved how perseverant she was, and just like resilient. Hang on a sec, guys. The camera's being super funny. I don't know what this is doing. But anyways, she was so perseverant, and she just like was really courageous with her like situation and the challenges she faced, and I just really liked this one. But the last book that I haven't finished it, but I've started Rhythm of War. I'm just like plowing through this series. I'm like, I just finished the epilogue, not the epilogue, the prologue. So we're like at the very, very beginning of this book. But honestly, I'm so excited. I have heard that Rhythm of War and Wind and Truth they don't have like the epic exploding moments like the other ones had. They're more like just sort of like, they don't have like that build up and then that blast off moment. But I hope it does. I still think I will enjoy it, just because, you know, I am invested in this series. Like, I have to know what happens now. There's no not knowing for me. This drink is so good. It's this brand. This is the banana one, but I think the mango ones are my favorite. I've only had like 2 flavors, but it's just really, really yummy. Okay. So for books, that is about it with everything I've been reading. But I thought it'd be fun to, I nearly forgot this one because I just started it tonight. But it's an audiobook, and I'm only 2 chapters into the audiobook, and I really love it so far. So it's called Everlong, and the author's name started with an R, but it does. I'll put a picture on the screen so like you know who the author is if you want to look it up. But it's really good so far, even though I'm only 2 chapters in. But it follows this girl named Lily, and excuse me, I'm not 100% sure like what Lily is, because she's not a human. But she like just at nighttime, she sits on this bench and she has her notebook, and she'll like see little objects like a coat or a toy or a cigarette box, and she'll like write the story of like how it got there and what the owner's like. And I just really love her inner dialogue. It's just like even 2 chapters in, I'm already loving her, but she's been like alive for a long time. So, and she does this every night because, like I said, she's not human. I'm not sure what she is. And then during the day, she goes back to this old abandoned place, and she just like loves books. That's how she lives. And then one night, it's like 2 a.m. She's on her bench writing about a cigarette box and like who the owner would be. And this guy walks by, and he looks at her, and he sort of is like, "Hey, can I like call you a ride, or are your friends gonna come get you?" Because it's like 2 a.m. It's not like a super safe area, I would say. And she's like, "What do you mean?" Because he's like, "Can I call you an Uber?" And she's like, "What's an Uber?" Because she's not a human, so she doesn't understand like a lot of what he says. And he ends up like saying, like introducing himself, and his name is Sam, and he sits next to her on the bench, and he just like sits there with her. And then it skips to the next day, or the next night I should say, and the next night he shows up again, and he's like talking to her, and they had this really sweet scene, and it was talking about Romeo and Juliet, because she had the book, but like the ending had been ripped out of the book, so he was like telling her the ending. But I'm just really loving it. The cover is gorgeous, utterly stunning, so I really hope I love it so that I can buy a trophy copy. Oh, Big Boy just hiccuped. But that is everything that I've been like reading and listening. I know some people don't count audiobooks as reading, but for me, when I read, I'm experiencing the story, and an audiobook can do that the same way for me, is I'm still experiencing this story. And it also is just like a free way to experience these stories without having to like spend my money on brand new books, because I don't have that money. But speaking of money, let's talk about some new releases that I am dying to read. So the main two are Dark End, and there is no cover for this yet, but it is the last book. And I saw I think the name, this trilogy does have a name. Oh, it's the Gateway Trilogy. What was I thinking? I was thinking of a different series. But it's the final book in the Gateway Trilogy by Crystal D. Graham. If you watch my other videos, you know I just love those books so freaking much. And this one comes out in September, and I'm literally on the edge of my seat. I'm immediately pre-ordering the moment it pops up. I have money set aside to pre-order this book. And if it doesn't end with characters happy, then I'm gonna be upset. But the other book that I am just wanting to pre-order so badly is On the Edge of the Forgotten Sea by Elisa J. Zavalanos. I also think you get really cute little like art bookmarks and stickers if you pre-order. But I've been like following her Instagram, and like she updates you. But this is her first like series, like full-on series, because she does have the Earth Treader and then an epilogue, but it's not really a series per se. This is her first series, and it's the Chronicles of Kara. And the first one is On the Edge of the Forgotten Sea, and it's a fantasy young adult book. I'm so excited for it. It's coming out in November, unfortunately, which is so far away, but I'm gonna be patient because I'm just so excited for it. And then one other release that I'm kind of like, I don't think I'll pre-order it, but I have my eye on it, is The Scarlet Star by Jennifer, I don't know how to say her last name. It's like Kroph. But I had like a weird relationship with her books, because I put a hold on A Soul as Cold as Frost, which is part of like this winter Christmassy themed fantasy series that's sort of like Narnia, but instead of going through a wardrobe, she rides on a train. And I waited 3 months for this book, and it was the same person that had it for 3 months, which was just irritating. And then I got it, and I didn't love it, but I think it was her first book, and I just didn't love that one a lot. That was dumb sounding. I don't know why I said that. I didn't enjoy it very much. Sometimes the writing just wasn't for me. But this book that she's writing that's coming out sounds a little more up my alley because it has to do with like the stars and and space and like celestial bodies. And she is a Christian author, if you were wondering, and that is like right up my alley. I love things to do with space and stars, and I just love that so much. I think the Star-Lord Legacy is probably my favorite sci-fi series. Granted, I haven't read much because I've just been trying to read the books that I have. But those are my new releases I'm keeping an eye out for. And then these books aren't like new releases, but these are just books that I want to buy. And that is, I want to buy the Follower of the Word series, which is it's one of Morgan Buss's books series that the library doesn't have, unfortunately. Which kind of sucks because sometimes the books I want to read are like by smaller authors, so the library system doesn't have them. I can't even like check them, place an order on them from like a different library to be sent to mine. So that does kind of suck sometimes, but it is what it is. The library is still amazing and a great resource for me, but I do want to read the Follower of the Word series by her. I'm really excited to read it actually, but like I said, I need to read the books I have because that is just a smart thing to do and responsible thing to do. But the other books that I want to read are all of the L.M. Montgomery books. There is these one specific copies of them. They're the Sourcefire books copies, and they are literally only on the Sourcefire website. So I think I'm just gonna be crazy and buy them all at once if I can. But that's gonna be like in a few months, because I read Jane of Lantern Hill and I really liked it, and she has so many other books besides Anne of Green Gables that I did not know about, so I really want to read it. And if the shipping is expensive on that website, I'll probably just try and order them all at once if I have the money, so then I don't have to because I don't want to, if the shipping's a lot, I don't want to buy like one at a time. And then of course, I want to read the new Hunger Games book. I've literally been on the wait list at the library for so long. I'm currently number 16. I was number 36, so we're getting closer. But I don't want to buy it until it matches the other, like, sprayed-edged pastel-y colors, because it'll just look stupid. But every time I go to Walmart, I see it up on display. They have a whole display, and it's always so tempting. But I tell myself, it will look stupid if you buy that and next to the other Hunger Games. So I'm not buying it, even though I really want to. I will not buy it. And then some other books that are just like random in my brain. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I want to read that. Is The Sparrow in the Sun by, her name just left my brain. She wrote Frostlight, which I talked to you guys about. Daniela Bullen, I think is her name. But she wrote another book called Sparrow in the Sun, and I think it's going to be a series, is what she said. And I do really want to read it because it sounds super interesting, and I did like Frostlight. Here's Baby back once again. And then she just loves to pick on Pig. She just loves to pick on him. And then I do want to eventually get the rest of the Keeper of Light series, because I have the next 2 books, but it is a 6-book series. But I really don't think there's I feel like there is more books that I want to read, but I can't remember them. I have them written down in my notes app somewhere. Well, I have one more thing to show you guys, and then that'll probably be it for just, because this is kind of a longer video, but I think it was a good one since I haven't posted in like over a month. But that's because I was busy reading my Stormlight Archive books and the other fantasy jumbo books I read. But my friend gave me this, or not my friend, my dad's girlfriend gave me this, and it says I like big books and I cannot lie, and I think it's super funny, and it is super nice, and I could wash it if I wanted to, which I probably will. But I thought that was pretty funny, and it's super funny because like I'm reading the Stormlight Archive books and they're like 1,500 pages, so it is like the perfect tote bag for it, because those are some big books and I do like them. But that is it for this little cozy book chat. I hope the lighting wasn't too bad and that you guys did enjoy watching. And I'm sorry I haven't posted in a while. I will try and post a little more frequently, hopefully. But I hope you guys have been doing amazing. And yeah, if you have like any suggestions on what you want to see, feel free to leave them in the comment section. And I will see you guys later. Goodbye.